Now let's say that you took this model and you placed your retreat project on top of it. So let's say you have something that is, whoops, I'm going to put this as a current layer. Let's say you had some sort of object, 12 feet high, and that, let's say that's part of my house. I'll put this up at 3 foot and put it somewhere along the site. Okay. Depending on where the project lands, you kind of noticed with your physical model last semester that parts of it kind of floated off the topo, parts of it kind of dug into parts of the topo. Part that dug in, you could always cut out and you're fine. Part that floated, you were supposed to find your spare pieces of foam and kind of stuff in there. We're going to do the same thing with your computer model as well. So if you have this thing, if you just happen to have some parts of your building floating, you will most likely have to add contours to it. Okay, there's a few different tacks for doing this. You might just go ahead and draw something. Let's say you drew another box, right? And if you kind of put that out somewhere like this, it'll look like it is a deck that's actually landing onto the next contour line. That's one way of doing it, but we've got to be careful that, well, it doesn't always work. Another way is to modify your topography so that it is actually landing onto your house is landing on your site. Do that, again, you might create a new layer and say topo new step fill or something like that. Okay, and I'll put this as the current layer, and what I want to do is to add a little bit more soil here. So I am going to use a control point curve, and somewhere, easier way to do this is to make sure that I am, since this is a part that's floating, I want to be on this surface. I want to make sure that I am drawing on this surface, so I'm going to change my C-plane to the object, to this object right here. Notice that the top part just blinked. That means that I'm going to be drawing right on that, so I don't have to worry about the lines going all over the place. So now I'm going to use my control point curve, and somewhere where it touches this thing, let's see, let me take the ortho off, take the grid snap off too, and draw a new set of curve, so that would be the part of land that I'm adding. Okay, to make this solid, I probably want to go ahead and use a polyline and connect each of these other points as well. I should have hit the box, huh? And back to the original point. Enter. And then I will join those two lines. Curve and that. Oops. Join curve and this guy, and now it is a loop, a hoop. So I could do the same thing with this object right here, make it a solid planar curve straight and go up 1 foot. 1 foot, and there is my added piece of soil. Okay, now if this thing was if you want to make this thing a little bit more realistic, you might have to change this one too to reflect that the whole when you change one topo line, it affects everything down the lower plane, right? So you may have to do that with this one as well. But for this project, it is going to be very important to actually land your project onto the site. And that's what we're going to be checking for, so this is hence the reason for giving you this instruction. Once this is done, you will take a 2D view of this site. And what you might want to do is not do this part first and just print out this on a printer. Because what you're going to do is make your site model using the modified 1 foot contour interval. Okay?